Welcome to the Post-Credits Podcast, where we talk about movies after the credits roll. My name is Jesse.
I'm Max.
And I'm Logan.
And today, it is part 2 of our most anticipated list for 2026. Yesterday, our part 1 came out. That featured all of our movies between me and Max from number 25 to number 11. Now we've got Logan back, and we're going to present, all three of us, our top 10 most anticipated movies.
That's right. And also preface this, even though we did split this into two parts, we recorded this on the same day. So these will, what's the release plan? Are you doing this like day after? Or?
Yeah, so this came out the day after part 1.
Okay, gotcha.
So if you're watching this, you can go right now and watch part 1. If you're not interested, I'm going to give you a little rundown of how this thing works. Each of us are going to go in turn presenting 5 movies. And we have not discussed our picks for this list. This is one of the very few times we have done no discussion. We have some ideas, but we have nothing that we 100% know.
Yeah, we said this on the last one, but we promise, guys, it's not clickbait. We're not, this is definitely not clickbait.
These are real reactions, and these movies that we pick, we're probably going to review later on down the line in the podcast for the weekly spoiler review, which is why we do these. So.
Yeah, and what's more exciting about this one is that we have Logan joining us for the first time, our second annual most anticipated list episode.
It's exciting.
Yeah.
You've done this for a whole year.
Yeah.
One whole year of the Post Credits Podcast. Probably a little under by the time that this comes out, but pretty soon we will have our one year anniversary. And so should we just start off with movies? Yeah, should we talk movies?
Let's go.
Hell yeah. All right, movies.
All right, so carrying the tradition from the last episode, Jesse will start us off since I started last year. So only fair to pass the baton to him. Go for it.
I'm going to start with my number 10, as numbers work. My number 10 is a movie we talked about briefly on the last episode, and it is a movie that I was really, really excited for, and then for like a year it didn't exist, and then it came back. My number 10 is Coyote versus Acme.
Oh, so you have this one a little bit higher than me.
A little bit higher.
Like a teensy-weensy little bit higher than me.
If you watched the previous one, you know that Max had that at his number 12.
Yeah.
Coyote versus Acme. This is my number 10. It follows Coyote suing the Acme Corporation for making all these faulty traps that he fails to catch Roadrunner with.
Yeah, or a wily coyote. Follows Coyote.
What did I call him?
Coyote.
Just Coyote?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's Wile E. Coyote. That's his first name. Wile E. Yeah, so if in case you don't know the story of this movie, Warner Brothers shelved it for a tax write-off, and then eventually Ketchup Entertainment bought it and is now distributing it in theaters this year. It's very, very exciting, but we discussed that a little bit more in the previous episode. I don't have the same drawbacks that Max has to this one. I mean, we discussed this at length, but even just being on this list means that we're excited for it.
Yeah.
There's no movie that we're not excited for that's on this list, but I think I'm a little bit more excited than he is for this one.
Yeah. You want to know something interesting? Right before we recorded, this one was at 10, and I moved it to 12.
Oh.
Just because the one above, my number 11, which you can go, if you're wondering what that was, you can check the last one. And my number 10, I was like, I think I'd these out a little bit. But yeah, I mean, if you want to hear my full thoughts on Coyote vs. Acme, I'm very excited for it. Short thought. Very good pick, I will say, especially for a top 10. Yep. I had some reservations just because ever since the Ketchup Entertainment acquisition, there hasn't been much from it. Very happy that it has a release date, but I just a little bit nervous about how they're going to market it, and I'm wondering if the initial reactions to it were a bit over-promising, and if they were just trying to say that to keep the movie or something, and if the movie comes out and maybe is not as good, but all speculation. I could be wrong.
Yeah. So, yeah, I heard such good things about this movie.
Yeah, same.
And I'm really excited it's coming out.
Yeah, I'm happy that the world will finally see it, for that reason.
All right, my number 9. This is part of a series that I initially watched, and I hated. I did not like the first movie when it came out, and I later, when the second one came out, I rewatched both, literally back to back, and I liked them miles more. And part of that is because I don't think I was super familiar with the filmmaker's game, because I have come to really love Denis Villeneuve and his Dune series.
Ooh.
Number 9 is Dune Part 3.
And yeah, you weren't a fan of the first one?
Not initially.
Not initially.
But I found it boring and incomprehensible, not unlike the book. And yeah, it was one of... It just did not resonate with me. And I think part of that was because it does that really annoying thing that a lot of modern movies do, where they put the lapel mic really close to the mouth, and then they just have the actors like mumble like this, and then the score is really loud so you can't hear them. And so like I didn't get like 90% of the story because Timothée Chalamet said it once like this. And when I rewatched them, I watched them with subtitles. And I think that's what saved them for me, actually.
As
Maybe.
I do with like 90% of media today.
Yeah.
But no subtitles for this one, though, because it's seeing it in theaters. So
Yeah. I'm a big Dune fan. Make of that statement as you will. I actually was in the minority. I loved the first Dune. When I first saw it, I thought it was like it was just a great example of like, mature sci-fi. Like so much blockbusters that come out are just like watered down to like the lowest common denominator, all PG-13. And with Dune, I feel like you get the more mature version of that. But it's one that if Dune 2 hadn't been as great as it was, or if Dune 2 didn't happen at all, I would like the first one less because it's essentially like the greatest, or in my mind, it was like the greatest pilot to something that never came, like something that never came to be. And the fact that we do have Dune 2, which is essentially the payoff, I think it fixes a lot of the issues I had with the first Dune.
yeah.
Yeah, that's all I'll say about that one, at least for now.
And the first Dune, I like the first Dune. I didn't like it when I first saw it, but upon rewatch, it's very, very good.
Yeah.
And Dune Part 3, just what a cast. Timothée Chalamet, Florence Pugh, Anya Taylor-Joy, Zendaya, Jason Momoa, and his son, Robert Pattinson, and Léa Seydoux. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. And this is the third and final Dune movie that Denis Villeneuve is doing. It's based on Dune Messiah, which I think is the second book in the series. There are like 14 books in the Dune series.
Yeah.
So they could keep this going for a while, but I think Villeneuve is done after this one. And honestly, good. I know he didn't want to do this one right after Dune 2, and he's been doing nothing but Dune in the 20s.
Yeah, pretty much.
Eventually he'll get to Bond, but for right now, it's all Dune. And look, I love Denis Villeneuve. I think he's an amazing filmmaker. And I'm really, really excited to see where this movie goes and where this story goes in Part 3.
Yeah.
All right. I suppose it's time for me to move on to number 8. Hang on, I need to find number 8. I gotta pull my list.
Reads number 1 by accident.
Okay. My number 8 is a movie that I kind of put in my top 5 without thinking at the beginning of the year, and really hasn't budged. It's just things got placed over it. My opinion on this movie has not changed from when it was first announced to right now. And you know what? It's probably because it's made by what many consider to be the greatest working director today. This is Christopher Nolan's The Odyssey.
Wow.
Oh.
Yeah, so Nolan's Odyssey is interesting because, The Odyssey is one of my favorite stories of all time, and it has the opportunity to really be told on the scale that Christopher Nolan likes to tell his stories. And, the casting is great. This is one of the most stacked casts in any movie. Just off the top of my head, it's got Matt Damon, Tom Holland, Zendaya, Robert Pattinson. This is the third movie Zendaya and Robert Pattinson share.
Oh, I
this year.
guess that correctly. I told you, I was like, you said you had recurring actors. I was like, I think there's Zendaya and Robert Pattinson, and they are Zendaya and Robert Pattinson.
Yeah.
What
And
do you know?
So yeah, just like really stacked cast. John Bernthal and Elliot Page are in there somewhere. And I actually, because I saw Avatar Fire and Ash in theaters, I got to see the exclusive theatrical spot for this movie, and it looks really, really good. Benny Safdie, despite being like short in real life, is really imposing on screen in this movie.
Yeah. I know Christopher Nolan seems to be good at that. Last time he did was with Tom Hardy in The Dark Knight Rises.
Yeah, it's true. I don't like that movie, but yeah. This just feels like the perfect fit for Christopher Nolan, a classic epic. And, I think that he's been kind of had it rough on his 3-year release schedule, starting with Interstellar. I think on that schedule, he's only made 2 good movies. And those movies are great. They're Interstellar and Oppenheimer, but Dunkirk and Tenet are just so bad. So I'm really hoping this is a bounce back for him, even though Oppenheimer was so good. If he can continue this for a while, I'll be really, really happy. And we also did a Christopher Nolan tier list. And we'll get to add to that.
Go check that out in the meantime. It was a fun one to make. One of the early videos on the channel.
Yeah, no Logan on that one, but
yeah, not yet at least.
Maybe we'll redux that episode if we can get Logan to watch all 12. All right, I suppose I'll move on to number 7. Is that what we're up to? All right, my number 7 started it started out of the top 10 because it's a sequel to a movie that when I put it on I hadn't watched, but I'd heard good things about, and then when I watched it, the sequel moved up. And then I heard how good the sequel was. Oh, this is 28 years later, The Bone Temple.
I had a feeling it was going to be that one.
So 28 years later, The Bone Temple is the sequel to 28 Years Later, which released earlier this year, with Aaron Taylor Johnson, Alfie Williams, and Ray Fiennes.
Yeah, I believe so.
Jodie Comer's in it as well.
Jack O'Connell.
Jack O'Connell appears at the very end, though. And apparently this movie is more about Jack O'Connell and Ray Fiennes.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
And, so basically, if you don't know, 28 Years Later is a continuation of the 28 Days Later series. 28 Days Later essentially posits that there was some sort of virus that spread through blood that turned people into crazy, violent, bloodthirsty zombies. And 28 Days Later is about a main character played by Cillian Murphy trying to navigate this world and fight the zombies and survive. Then we get 28 Weeks Later, which the ending of 28 Days Later, spoilers, you can skip ahead if you don't want to hear, all the vampires die of hunger.
Vampires?
Zombies.
I was about to say that'd be a very different kind of movie.
But then in 28 Weeks Later, they re-unleash the virus. Then 28 years later, it's 28 years after the virus has ravaged England, and we have a bunch of people living on an island, and they can only go to mainland England once in a while to basically loot supplies from whatever still stands, and if any zombies come by, kill them. And we get some really interesting, there's new types of zombies now. There's the crawler zombies, which are these really big guys that crawl on the floor. They're your regular infected, and then there are alphas, and we meet one alpha called Samson, who his most obvious trait in almost every shot of the movie is that his penis is as big as his entire thigh.
Yeah, 28 inches later. 28 inches later, as I kept seeing as a reoccurring review for that movie.
And this is a huge guy. He's super buff, and he controls all the other infected on some level. And that's one of the big things that they return to in the Bone Temple. But the thing is, 28 years later, did a lot of setup for not a lot of payoff. The movie really does end 1/3 of the way through the story because it was planned as a trilogy.
Yeah. Especially the last 20 minutes of that movie feel like setup.
The last 20 minutes of that movie are definitely set up. The actual emotional conclusion of the movie happens at the outset of the third act.
Yeah.
And the rest of the third act is spent Alfie Williams just kind of roaming around setting up various things for the next movie. The Bone Temple itself is a very fascinating thing. We meet this doctor played by Ray Fiennes who is the most orange man alive. He's covers himself in this in this cream because it keeps the infected away. And basically what he does is every time he finds a dead body, he takes the skull out and various bones, cleans them, and then adds the skull to his skull pile and the bones to his bone temple. And the skull pile sits at the middle of the Bone Temple. And then at the end of that movie, we're introduced to the Jimmy cult, led by Jack O'Connell, who plays Jimmy. And Jack O'Connell's character was set up at the very beginning of the movie. He only shows up at the end. And in all the trailers for the Bone Temple, he features significantly. And apparently, first reactions say the movie is fantastic.
Yeah, it's awesome to hear that. Really, really awesome to hear that. And especially they screening it in December, right before it comes out. What a good way. Not only was the reception so high, but it also got the third movie greenlit. So we don't have to, bite our nails and worry if the second one's going to flop or underperform at the box office, which I doubt it at this point.
Yeah, and here's the thing. In the previous episode, we talked about Lee Cronin's The Mummy, or Lee Cronin's The Resurrected, depending on who you believe. And we talked about how some of the test screening feedback was kind of shady, and we weren't 100% sure if it was real.
Yeah.
Sony greenlit a third 28 years later just based on how good the test screening reactions were to this movie.
That's true.
That says something significant, considering that Danny Boyle went on stage at CinemaCon to say, we don't know if we're going to get to make the third one because we might not make enough money. Well, and they didn't need to make enough money. Just the reactions were good enough for them to greenlight a third, and I'm so happy about that. It's directed by Nia DaCosta, who did the Candyman reboot and also the Marvels.
Yeah.
Ostensibly, Kevin Feige did the Marvels, but she's credited on it. And she's gone out and said they just changed the movie. And she also made a movie this year called Hedda, which is getting some awards attention. But I am really, really happy to hear, written by Alex Garland, as are the first movie. So yes, 28 years later, The Bone Temple, beyond excited for that one. My number 6, and this will be the last before I hand it off to Max. Okay. I don't like biopics. This is kind of established. I don't like biopics. I didn't like Springsteen earlier this year. I didn't like The Smashing Machine. We talked about Michael in the previous episode, which I'm not excited for because it's a biopic. But when a director I really, really respect says that they're going to do a biopic over a really, really interesting figure about a really, really interesting event in their life, you might have hooked me there. Because my number 6 is Luca Guadagnino's Artificial.
Oh, that's coming out this year?
It doesn't have a confirmed release date, but people close to the production say it's coming out in 2026.
Oh.
I believe it already wrapped filming, so yeah. It stars Andrew Garfield, I believe, as Sam Altman. It's a biopic about Sam Altman, the OpenAI CEO, and there was a period, like a very, very brief period, of the history of OpenAI in 2023, in which Sam Altman was seemingly out of the blue fired by the board of OpenAI, and then about 3 or 4 days later, he was rehired as CEO of OpenAI.
Oh.
So Andrew Garfield plays Sam Altman. This movie also has Yura Borisov from Anora, Jason Schwartzman, Cooper Hoffman, and Monica Barbaro. And again, it's a Luca Guadagnino film. I love Luca Guadagnino. I really, really do. He's behind Call Me By Your Name and Bones and All, and
Challengers.
Challengers was his other big one. He is a fantastic filmmaker. He really is so good at getting those details, those amazing tactile details, and it really works because mostly he does love stories, Bones and All and Call Me By Your Name, both obviously fitting that genre. Artificial doesn't seem like that, but he kind of proved he can do a little bit more with After the Hunt in 2025, which was a controversial movie that I liked. But yeah, Luca Guadagnino, I have confidence he'll still be Luca Guadagnino because After the Hunt, not my favorite Luca Guadagnino, but I still liked it. And yeah, Artificial, I think, has the opportunity to be really, really good.
Yeah, actually, I just looked up the writer behind it. He wrote a couple things that I'm quite familiar with. At least in film, the last thing he wrote was a movie called American Pickle.
Yes,
which
I
did as well with Seth Rogen.
Yeah.
He was also a writer for SNL. He wrote for The Simpsons and some other show called Miracle Workers, which I don't know what it is. But, it was a guy who's written some stuff before. I mean, not the most memorable movie, but I at least recognize who wrote it. And this is the only movie on your list, or the second movie on your list I actually didn't really know anything about.
Yeah, I just found Artificial, and honestly, it kind of clicked with me in a way. And Luca Guadagnino's pictures, they don't always have release dates at the beginning of the year. Last year, After the Hunt didn't get a release date until surprisingly late for that kind of movie. And yeah, so I'm fairly confident that this is going to come out this year. And if it doesn't, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
But Artificial, I'm excited for it.
Yeah.
I'm really, really excited for it.
Yeah, no, very good pick, at least in my opinion. I think that's a very good pick.
All right, so now we're going to pop over to Max, and he's going to present his 10 to 6.
All right, my turn. My number 10 is one that was, common theme with my list, but one that I was not on my radar at all. Until I saw who made it, I saw reactions to it that looked very promising for it. I saw a trailer that I just couldn't help but love, and a filmmaker that hasn't made anything in a very long time, but everything he has made, at least that I've seen, I've really responded well to. And it's 3 phrases: good luck, have fun, don't die.
Really?
The newest film from Gore Verbinski, the most versatile director I think I've ever had the pleasure of watching movies. This is the guy behind the first 3 Pirates of the Caribbean movies, did Rango and The Ring, which are all very different from one another. This movie looks designed for me, almost. In a sense, this movie looks like it was designed for me. Essentially, at its core, it kind of feels like The Terminator, but you have, like, Sam Rockwell traveling to the past, whereas, like, suspicion that, like, AI is taken over and, like, the whole world gets completely fucked over. And this movie just looks batshit insane and so much fun. Like, this is my kind of weird movie, at least from the sounds of it. And reactions to it, I believe it's Fantastic Fest, were apparently really good. And then the trailer came out, and I was like, that looks like a movie that I'm going to very much enjoy.
Jesse, you seem like you have some words to say about it.
Yeah. Seems like you do.
I didn't expect this to be in your top 10. I didn't expect this to be on your list at all.
What makes you say that?
Well, I don't think it looks good.
Oh, I think it looks great.
I mean, I don't know. It's not that I really have I don't know. It's a weird mix of absolute insincerity and like a message to it, like he's saying, it feels like, just from the trailer. I mean, look, I can't pretend to have seen the movie, and this is gonna feel like more of a criticism I should talk about after the credits roll, but just, it feels like there's something legitimately there, but all the trailer was like jokes. It comes off feeling like weirdly like a movie like Idiocracy, which tries to have something to say but ends up completely falling flat because it's so insincere. I don't know. I certainly get why you might have picked this. It looks transgressive. It looks fun. It looks strange. And I do tend to appreciate that in a movie.
Yeah.
And maybe I'm completely misjudging it just by the trailer, and I'll still be happy to give it a watch when it comes out.
Yeah, and another movie that the writer also did, which also had shitty trailers, but turned out to be great in my mind. This is also from the writer of Love and Monsters from a couple years ago, which is a film that I absolutely love. And if you watch the trailers, you're like, that looks like dog shit. And then you watch the movie, and it's like, that's actually really good. And even some of the reactions I heard about Good Luck, Have Fun, Don't Die, I won't say them specifically here in case it's spoiler territory, but it's actually surprised me what people have said. It wasn't something I wasn't expecting, and even some of the reviews I've seen, I'm like, that sounds like a movie that's designed for me. So I cannot wait to check this one out.
Yeah, no, that's fair.
Love Gore Verbinski as a filmmaker, and the writer's proven himself to me. I know we've talked about that a few times with screenwriters taking other projects.
No, that's fair. But yeah, no, good pick.
Yeah. My number 9 is one I won't dive too much into, given that we just talked about it, is Bone Temple. 20 years later, The Bone Temple.
Nice.
Basically copy and paste everything that Jesse said. If you want to rewind and listen to that, feel free. But in terms of my thoughts on it, I was really excited for 28 Years Later. The trailers were fantastic, and it's one that 28 Days Later was always a movie that was on my watch list. Absolutely love that movie. I really enjoyed 28 Weeks Later as well. 28 Years Later is a film that I think does a lot right, but I think, unfortunately, a lot of the issues with it for me were in the last 20 minutes.
Yeah.
And literally has one of the strangest tonal shifts I've ever seen in the movie. Like, the last 5 minutes literally lowered a half a star for me. And from everything I'm hearing about Bone Temple makes it seem like they are able to deliver on the premise. Like, when I heard Jack O'Connell was playing a cult leader, I mean, this is the guy who was Remick in Sinners. And it sounds great. Everything I'm hearing about is everything I hoped I would hear. And for better or worse, this is a film that is better than, or seems to be hopefully better than 28 Years Later. And I'm very happy that the third film was greenlit. And can't wait to see this one. I won't elaborate too long if you want to rewind. My number 8 is a movie that actually breaks a rule I have. This one does not have a release date on it, but
I know what it is.
It's one that has a release window, at least according to a lot of reliable sources behind the movie. And the title was announced not too long ago. I've Godzilla Minus Zero. Which,
I didn't expect that.
If you asked me 2 years, if you told me 2 years ago this movie would be on my list, I would have said you're nuts, because I've never been a Godzilla fan. Sorry, I know you love Godzilla, Jesse, but like for me, I've never been too big into Godzilla. I don't know if it's part of that because the Roland Emmerich film was my introduction, but I never cared for any of the Hollywood Godzilla films. The original is a film I like, but I don't love it. I loved Godzilla Minus One, though. I thought that film was excellent, and very happy for the awards attention that it got. So naturally, when you make a sequel to that, I'm going to be very interested, because I feel like the team behind it really pulled it off, and I feel like took some of the things I liked about the original and just did it better. I think this is better than the original Godzilla in every way. And like this is the Godzilla story and movie that resonated the most with me. So naturally, Godzilla Minus Zero, well, I don't know too much, and honestly is one I don't know if it's coming out this year, but it has a release window of late 26. I'm very, very much excited for this one. And honestly, Godzilla Minus One is one of the most surprising movies I've seen in recent years, I would say.
Godzilla Minus One, and look, I love Godzilla. Godzilla Minus One is the single best Godzilla movie that has ever been made.
Yeah, I agree.
It is fantastic in every single way. It gets everything about Godzilla right. It is amazing, and I'm so impressed that they were able to make a movie that resonates exactly the same as the first one now. That's really impressive. I love Godzilla so much. The first one's so good. The second one's not so good. The third one, though, is King Kong versus Godzilla. That's a good one. I could literally sit here and review every single Godzilla movie from front to back, but I won't.
Future episode idea?
Oh, believe me. Ideas, putting it lightly. Yeah, the great pick. I don't know how they're gonna do a sequel, but great pick.
Yeah. And yeah, it's the first time I've broken that rule where it's just like I love Godzilla Minus One so much that anything after I'm just like, I want to see it. I want to see more. Again, I don't know what they would do with a sequel, but we'll see. I'll be there.
Yeah, and important to note that the director from Godzilla Minus One returned here. Takashi Yamazaki is his name.
Yes.
And he is directing Godzilla Minus Zero as well.
Yeah. So yeah, that's my number 8. My number 7 originally was a movie that was in my 25 to 21 range.
Oh, man.
And now it's my number 7, so you're probably like, what movie was this? It's from a franchise that I love. But ultimately, when I first was putting this on my list, I knew it was going to be on my list regardless. But I kind of had it lower, and I'll get into reasons kind of why I had lower. But honestly, the more I sat on it, I have it at number 7. It's Evil Dead Burn.
Knew it.
Yeah.
Knew it.
Little known fact about me, I love the Evil Dead franchise, especially Evil Dead 2 is one of my favorite horror movies of all time. The original Evil Dead is just such a fascinating horror film, and one that the fact that Sam Raimi made it when he was only 20 years old is insane with the budget that he had. Army of Darkness, I think, is good. Certainly ages the worst of those three, I would say, or at least in competition with the original. Really, I loved Fede Alvarez's Evil Dead from 2013, and I really enjoyed Evil Dead Rise from Lee Cronin, which we talked about him a little bit ago. But naturally, upcoming Evil Dead film is something that's going to be on my radar. So instantly, I knew this was one I was going to be very excited for. Why I had it lower on my list is because I don't know jack shit about this movie. I don't know who the director is. I don't know who the writer is. I don't know what the story is. I don't know who the characters are. I don't know what's going on besides New Evil Dead. And the more I sat on it, I was like, I do love Evil Dead. But at a point, I was like, I don't know anything about it.
Yeah, and Evil Dead has, since Sam Raimi left the series with Army of Darkness and he didn't come back to it, it has been a series that's sort of been a launching pad for a lot of other filmmakers to come in and just kind of do their thing. We're talking about Fede Alvarez early in his career. We're talking about Lee Cronin just coming off of The Hole in the Ground. The filmmaker behind Evil Dead Burn, his name is Sebastian Vanacek, and if I'm saying that wrong, I apologize. And he's also coming off of an indie horror movie that very few people saw called Infested, which I actually heard about when it came out. Apparently, it's pretty good.
Yeah, I heard about it too, but I was like, I couldn't, to be honest, I don't know much about it. And apparently it's good, but
just to see Evil Dead continue to be a jumping off pad and a career acceleration point for so many filmmakers who, they're similar to Sam Raimi in a lot of ways. Evil Dead was the jumping off point for Sam Raimi initially. So it is really, really cool to see that happening for other filmmakers as well.
Yeah. I feel, especially in the horror community, like Evil Dead Rise introduced me to Lee Cronin, who I really enjoyed Evil Dead Rise, and I love a lot of what he brought. And I was really disappointed with my overall for his adaptation of The Mummy. But with Evil Dead Burn, I'm just really excited to watch it. I mean, anything with Evil Dead is going to get me to watch it. The franchise has never missed. It's literally, I think, the only horror franchise without a legitimately bad movie. Like, sure, there's ones that, like, it certainly has its lesser, but, like, none of the 5, I say, are legitimately not only bad movies, meaning I don't like them, but, like, I don't think they're bad in terms of, like, I don't think any of them are either poorly made either. Like, I think they're all really interesting stories. It's just depending on which ones you like, just, I guess, depending on when you grew up or when you watched them for the first time. And yeah, so that's my number 7. I'll go on to my number 6 before I pass it off to Logan. My number 6 is a movie that's always been on my most anticipated. I don't think it moved from the spot, actually. Originally called something different, which I totally called BS on, and I was totally right. I really, the lead actor they got for this one really sold me on it, and recently, with the genre of movie this is and who it's by, got it on my list. Digger.
Oh.
Okay.
This is Alejandro Gonzalez Inarritu, I believe. Inarritu. Yeah, thank you. This movie had not much has been shown about it, save for that it's like some sort of comedy starring Tom Cruise, who, if you know anything about me, Tom Cruise is my favorite actor of all time. And especially Tom Cruise doing a comedy film, he hasn't done one of those in ages. I think since Tropic Thunder, but correct me if I'm wrong on that one. But
I'll fact check you. Keep talking.
Yeah. But yeah, Alejandro Inarritu, I haven't seen, I know he's famous for 2 movies recently. I know Birdman and then The Revenant, which I've seen The Revenant. I've not seen Birdman, but I've heard great things about Birdman. Naturally, his name being on a film, he's somebody who knows how to make great movies. And this one just looks so interesting. I mean, you got Tom Cruise in weird makeup. I don't know what the title means. I don't know what the premise is, but I'm so intrigued as to what this movie is. I can't wait to watch it, and I can't wait to see whatever Tom Cruise has in store, as well as the rest of the cast as well, and what AGI, I'll call him that, because I feel like I'm going to butcher his name again. Can't wait to see what he has in store for this one.
Yeah, for your comment about Tom Cruise and comedies, it really depends what you consider a comedy. On Letterboxd, comedy is a genre listed under American-Made and Rock of Ages and Night and Day and... yeah, up back until Tropic Thunder. So if you consider any of those movies comedies, then he has made a comedy since Tropic Thunder.
Yeah,
if you don't, he hasn't.
Okay. Yeah, I just wasn't sure. I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know what people call. I haven't seen American Made, or Night and Day, or what was the other one? Rock of Ages?
Rock of Ages.
Oh, yeah, I've heard of Rock of Ages.
I think the point is he hasn't made a comedy in a while.
Or like a true comedy, like intentional comedy.
He also hasn't. This is the first time in 9 years he's doing a non-franchise picture.
Yeah, he's done Mission Impossible for a couple years, and then he also did Top Gun Maverick, which, if you don't know, is my favorite movie of the decade. Yeah, it's cool to see him do a movie like this, and just the little glimpse we got of him in weird makeup with dancing with a shovel. I want to see this movie so badly.
I mean, I figured this was on your list just because of Tom Cruise and doing like an interesting movie. I didn't expect it at number 6. That's really good. Very, very good pick.
Yeah.
Very, very good pick.
Yeah, it's exciting. So
All right, Logan, I pass it on to you.
Starting off on
number
my
10.
Number 10.
Go for it.
I will say I think my list is more, if it was a 25 but condensed down to 10 rather than just like a top 10, if that makes sense.
Okay.
Yeah, that's fair.
So for my number 10, I'd say this is the only one on my list that we all have seen the trailer for a number of times.
Anaconda.
I was gonna say The Housemaid, but I was like, both of those movies.
Second amount of times.
The Housemaid.
Just Send Help.
Oh, Sam Raimi's next.
Sam
Yeah.
Raimi's next.
Speaking of Sam Raimi, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Send Help. Okay, yeah. Good pick. Send Help stars Rachel McAdams and Dylan O'Brien as these co-workers who get into a little plane crash and then they get stranded on an island for a while.
Yeah.
Yeah, crazy trailer.
Yeah. Trailer looked insane. I will say it's like Sam Raimi's return to like true horror again is so cool to see. This one almost made my list, or actually I won't say specifically, but
you already said specifically.
Yeah, I already said specifically. This one almost made my list.
And like in terms of genres, like survival type movies like that, I'm such a big fan of.
Yeah.
So I think this will be exciting for me. So moving on to number 9, I'm probably gonna go through this a lot quicker than you guys, but
all right.
Yeah, that's okay.
Yeah, this one, I'm kind of going up and down on this, but I kind of finally decided it's going to be my number 9. This is a franchise that I have now a love-hate relationship as of now. This is one where the phase of today has been one that has totally disinterested me, and such a big cliff from Avengers Endgame. This is Avengers Doomsday. I have some hope. I'm clinging on to some hope that this will maybe be a good ending to this last era of whatever
I guess of Marvel
was doing.
Yeah. I have a lot of thoughts on Avengers Doomsday.
Yeah, I mean, you're the X-Men, and then you have like Fantastic Four with.
I like the X-Men.
I do as well. I love those
Dr.
movies.
Doom. I'm a big fan of him in particular, so I hope they do this right. Their cast seems to be
large
and
very
large.
And it's just look, Dr. Doom is one of my favorite villains in all of Marvel Comics. He's wonderful. They're casting Robert Downey Jr. back to play him. Chris Evans is back. Everybody's back. And it just feels like it doesn't feel like it's any sort of it doesn't have any soul. It doesn't have what Endgame had. It doesn't have that sauce.
It's obviously nostalgia bait, but
it's so obviously and
I kind of need that right now.
And they spent so much time building up Kang in what was already an uninteresting plot. And if the Kang Dynasty had come out as intended, I still don't think I would have liked it. But now they're just throwing in a villain that we saw for the first time at the end of Fantastic Four? What are we doing? I don't know.
Clinging on.
Clinging on. I mean, there's enough nostalgia in there. I will say,
for nostalgia for me, I think it's better for me having not seen pretty much anything out of the latest phase of Marvel. So going back into that, I think the nostalgia will hit me more than the average Marvel disappointed moviegoer.
Yeah.
Right.
And, the real question is, they're now calling it Doomsday. Will you be seeing Doom Part 3 first or seeing Avengers Doomsday first? That we will find out. Once the combined list comes out.
Yeah, put up the little clock at the end of the Avengers Doomsday trailer, and when that clock hits 0, you'll know whether or not we skipped this movie.
Yeah, I'm actually interested in the comments. Which one will you guys be seeing first, Dune 3 or Avengers Doomsday? I'm actually really curious about that one. Yeah, the next Barbenheimer.
So, moving on to number 8, 10, 9, 8. Yeah, that's right. So
I know how numbers work.
I did it. Okay, so this one I think you guys have mentioned before outside of this podcast, Max specifically.
Ooh.
This is one where I looked up. There's a connection made that made me a little more interested in this movie. Andy Weir as an author. Andy Weir
hey.
as an author of The Martian a movie that I remember liking so much. I love Matt Damon in that. It was so good. I watched that probably when I was a little too young, but yeah. This is Project Hail Mary.
Hey.
Project
Otherwise, on the last podcast, my favorite book of all time.
Yeah.
This is Project Hail Mary. Yeah.
Yeah. Project Hail Mary. In case you didn't watch the last podcast, it is a science teacher who is sent into space to figure out why Earth's sun is slowly dying, but this other sun all the way across the world, well, not the world, the galaxy, isn't dying. And he meets an alien.
Sorry, for a split second, maybe it's because it's late in the day when we're recording this, but when you said the Earth's sun, I was like, the Earth is a kid? And I was like, no, the sun. I don't know where my mind went there.
Yeah, plot sounds really interesting. Can't wait for it.
Yeah, I read the book as well. I really liked it. I know, Max, it's your favorite book of all time.
It is. Yeah, all thanks to you. I wouldn't have read it without Jesse bugging me to, which for good reason. I really liked it, and yeah, I wouldn't have read a book like that or any book ever in general if I didn't have somebody to tell me to. So thank you for that. But we'll see if that's the last time we hear about that movie in particular.
Yeah, I kind of want to go into this blind, so I'm not going to plan on reading the book.
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
I think that's a good way to...
Fair.
I'd say that's a good way to go into it.
Yeah, I mean, it's a good book, but you can definitely read it afterwards, and I think you'll still get a lot out of it. It's a very packed book. I don't know what they're adapting, though.
Yeah, and like looking at this list, this definitely scratches the sci-fi itch out of all of these. So moving on to number 10987.
All right.
The countdown continues.
Yeah. Speaking of movies based on books, I actually saw a video of this book in particular. The book is called Incidents Around the House, and the plot of it sounded really interesting to me. It's a horror movie. The movie is called Other Mommy.
Oh, I've heard of this one, Other Mommy.
Oh, good pick.
Yes.
Good pick.
I just remember seeing the title of this one being like, what the hell could a movie about Other Mommy be called? I mean,
it's not
other way around.
This ain't your mommy's mommy.
Or what a movie called Another Mommy would be about. Sorry, let me rephrase that.
Yeah. So like seeing that video in particular so recently, it's like, oh, it's a sign. I gotta see this.
Yeah. Other Mommy is a Rob Savage movie. Rob Savage is probably mostly known for that one Screen Life horror movie that was done during the pandemic, Host, which I feel like is where.
Oh, that's one of the people say it's one of the scariest movies ever.
Yeah.
Like I was according to science, I think it's number 2 or 3 or something.
Science.
Yeah.
The science. Yeah.
Just the highest heart rate throughout the whole thing.
Mr. Science himself.
Yeah. So now he's doing this for Blumhouse with Jessica Chastain, and yeah, it's about a house being haunted. It's a very Blumhouse classic movie, but the fact that they've announced it this early does bode well for the quality of this movie, I will say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So now we're on the opposite end. I have experience with the original source material, and you guys don't.
Yeah.
With this, so
now we know how it feels.
I kind of know.
Now we know how it feels. Yeah.
I know pretty much the whole plot of this. I don't know what they're adapting, so to say, but yeah, we'll see what happens.
Yeah,
Moving on.
Good picks. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. What's number 6?
Number 6. This is a sequel to a movie that I have been meaning to watch as of late.
Mm-hmm.
The sequel to Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. This is The Adventures of Cliff Booth.
Hey.
The Adventures of
Cliff Booth.
David Fincher.
Yeah. I mean, I love Tarantino. I'm excited to see this just for that alone, having just seen that on the list of movies overall. So that pretty much the main reason why I picked it. And also because I want to see Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
I do as well.
I will be doing that then.
Yeah, I almost saw Once Upon a Time in Hollywood when it came out, but my mom got scared. And she thought I was too young to watch it, which, for 2019, probably good that I didn't see that in theaters. But probably not. But yeah, this one looked interesting. David Fincher directing a Tarantino screenplay is so interesting to me. And Brad Pitt won the Oscar or supporting actor Oscar for playing Cliff Booth. So very interested to see what they do with him, and I wonder what style David Fincher will bring to that one.
Yeah, and it's a Tarantino script being directed by David Fincher. There's a lot of talent there. I don't like David Fincher's Netflix output, I'll be honest. everything he's made for Netflix has been kind of bad. I didn't like Mank, and I didn't like The Killer. And then this is his next project. He stopped working on Bitterroot for this.
Yeah.
I want to see Bitterroot more than this. But, yeah, it's... I don't really have any thoughts on it other than it didn't jump out to me immediately as a movie that I needed to put on this list, even though David Fincher is one of my favorite filmmakers.
Spoiler alert.
Yeah, it's not on my list. It's not on my top 5. The movie I just said I was uninterested in is not in my top 5.
Alert.
Number 1.
Yeah, good pick.
Yeah.
Oh, excited.
All right, are we moving to mine now?
Last round.
All right.
Round 2.
Okay. All right. Mine. Okay, so
I'm excited.
Uh-oh.
Oh my God.
Am I going to be shocked or am I going to...
Max tends to make fun of me for watching a certain kind of movies.
Oh, no. I know this is.
These movies are like kind of what the general public, I think, would call artsy-fartsy kinds of movies. These movies that don't release in a lot of places.
Tell me more.
That maybe sometimes have their time in awards shows, sometimes don't, but typically fade into obscurity after a little while. And there's one filmmaker in particular who makes these kinds of movies that I love. Because this is Jane Schoenbrun's next film, Teenage Sex and Death at Camp Miasma.
What the hell is that title? Teenage Sex and what?
Teenage Sex and Death at Camp Miasma.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, so Jane Schoenbrun is a wonderful filmmaker. They directed I Saw the TV Glow in 2024, which was my favorite movie of that year.
Is that the full title?
Which one? I Saw the TV Glow?
Okay.
I Saw the TV Glow is... Yeah, I know. Right? Fewer words than you were expecting. They also directed another movie, which I didn't see, called We're All Going to the World's Fair.
Huh.
And this one, yeah, Teenage Sex and Death at Camp Miasma, or Miasma.
Holy mouthful of a title.
Yeah, that's one of the calling cards of these kinds of movies is that their titles have a lot of words in them.
I like long titles.
Yeah, I think like, this one kind of broke through because it won Best Picture, but Birdman or The Unexpected Virtue of Ignorance.
And there's also Birds of Prey and The Fantabulous Emancipation of One Harley Quinn. Another long title that I still think about.
Fun long titles. Yeah, so this is a movie about a queer filmmaker. All of Jane Schoenbrun's movies have some element of queerness to them because Jane Schoenbrun's a very queer filmmaker. Is hired to direct a new installment of a classic slasher franchise. And then they get really fixated on casting an actor from the original movie. And the two women, quote, descend into a frenzy of psychosexual mania.
What the fuck?
Teenage Sex and Death at Camp Miasma. This...
I'm speechless.
I am so excited for this movie. And this is one of those that doesn't have a set release date. But sources close to the project say that it's coming out in 2026. It just sounds amazing. I Saw the TV Glow is just... It's so good that I have trouble believing it exists at times. And... genuinely, them doing anything that Jane Schoenbrun does makes it into my top 5 almost automatically, just because they're that exciting a filmmaker to me. This movie being about filmmaking and about horror. All of Jane Schoenbrun's movies are horror. This one's about horror. And Jane Schoenbrun, with I Saw the TV Glow, did horror from the perspective of a consumer of horror. That movie is about these young teenagers that get hooked on a sci-fi procedural television show for kids. And I mean, it's amazing. I think that this has the chance to be just as amazing. I am really, really, really excited for this movie.
I'm speechless. Only because, no offense to everything you just, but, this sounds like a movie that's not for me whatsoever. I haven't seen I Saw the TV Glow, but this sounds like a movie that I'm not going to speak too early, but this doesn't sound like a movie that, unless, obviously, since you put it on your list, but this sounds like a movie that I would probably skip. or just one that doesn't appeal to me. Whereas,
Fair.
I don't know.
Whereas I mentioned earlier that a movie like Good Luck, Have Fun, Don't Die feels like a movie that's like
Don't
designed
die.
for me. Huh?
You said good luck, have fun, don't guy.
Don't die.
Yeah, don't die, but you said
Yeah.
you said don't guy.
Oh, I learned away. I leaned away from the mic. Maybe that's why.
Okay.
But
yeah, a movie that maybe doesn't appeal to me but appeals to you. This is a movie that appeals to me, and I don't know. Logan, I know you liked Begonia. Maybe you'll like this too. I really Jane Schoenbrunn, I feel like, unlocked a different level. Like, they managed to be so evocative with still camera shots, and the ones that move, they move really slowly and they're really meandering, and they're to like a specific thing, a specific image. The way that they use imagery in these films is wonderful. I'm so excited. I'm so excited. All right, my number 4. My number 4 is probably a more palatable pick because it's one that we've already talked about. And in the last episode, I said that whenever a Universal Monsters movie gets made, it's probably going to end up on this list. And I wasn't lying because my number 4 is Maggie Gyllenhaal's The Bride! !
Oh, I wasn't expecting to have this in your top 5.
This was my number 1 for a time.
What?
Yeah, this was my number 1 for a little while before a couple movies got placed over it.
Oh.
I love the trailer for this movie. Oh my God, it's so good. So this is Jessie Buckley as the Bride of Frankenstein.
Oh, Jessie Buckley.
Yeah.
Yeah, Jessie Buckley, yeah.
Of Hamnet fame.
And Christian Bale as Frankenstein's monster. And Jake Gyllenhaal's in it somewhere, but, one of my favorite actors. Because this is directed by his sister, Maggie Gyllenhaal. And, yeah, it's like a Bonnie and Clyde musical adventure with a bunch of shooting and a bunch of weird stuff. And, like, the bride's kind of, like, badass in this movie. It's, like, really interesting. And I'm really happy with the direction this took, because it didn't have to take this direction, but it seems so punky and so exciting. This looks really cool. It's really, really cool.
Yeah. I had this on my 25 for those of you who didn't watch part 1. And I feel like, the fact that it was delayed almost a year, and some of the rumblings I heard that, Warner Brothers doesn't know how to market this movie if it's a musical. To where I'm just like, are the trailers fully being honest? I don't know. But
They never are.
Yeah. Yeah, especially in today's world, you never know. Like, trailers, honestly, like I've seen great movies with bad trailers. I mean, I mentioned Love and Monsters earlier. That is a great film that dog shit trailers to me. But
Yeah.
this movie does look cool. I'm very much looking forward to it. Not nearly as excited as you are. Honestly, I think the tagline of this movie is embarrassingly bad. Whoever made it should be fired.
I like Here Comes the Motherfucking Bride.
I hate it. I want to slap whoever made it. It's so like, I don't know. I just don't like it. But this movie looks interesting. I'll definitely be there to watch it for sure. But I like Christian Bale. Really like Jessie Buckley. Yeah, I'm curious about this one.
Yeah, and I was looking forward to it even before the trailer came out. Just the bride getting her own movie that really does feel like her movie, The Bride of Frankenstein in the original book is just kind of a concept that the monster comes up with, and doesn't really, it turns into a pretty climactic moment in the book, but she never really gets her own agency. And just doing an adaptation of The Bride now is like, it's such a fascinating pick to me, Like, if I was Maggie Gyllenhaal, what would I want to adapt, and why is it The Bride?
Yeah.
Because, and I'm just excited to see what her angle is with this story, because I love it when people reinterpret classic stories.
Yeah.
This is why Guillermo del Toro's Frankenstein made my list last year.
Yeah, it almost made mine. It didn't have a release date. Looking back, I probably should have put it on my list, but that was last year.
All right, my number 3 is a movie that if you've talked to me in real life, I will not shut up about this movie.
Oh, I know what this is.
It's Iron Lung.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, the Markiplier.
Yeah, the Markiplier movie.
Markiplier's directorial debut, his real name Mark Fischbach, but he's marketing it as Markiplier, so I'm assuming that's like his stage name now. It is adapted from a video game made by, I believe his name was David Sismenki.
He did Buckshot Roulette too and all those other ones, right? Like the
maybe
Buckshot Roulette was different. It's the same like sort of PS1 atmosphere.
Yeah,
enclosed horror space.
Yeah, Buckshot Roulette was Mike Klubnica.
Yeah, I remember.
Who is a similar video game developer to David Szymanski, I think.
I remember that era. Yeah, it was interesting. I didn't even know he was making a movie about that.
Yeah. It's David Szymanski. He made such games as Scroll Stapler.
Right.
Which is unironically an incredible cosmic horror video game. And he is so good at that sense of scale, and it's so stupid. Iron Lung is literally about sitting in a submarine in a place called the Blood Ocean while there is a creature outside that you cannot see. And that's the game, is that you're in a submarine the entire game with no windows and you can't see the creature, but he's there. And it is incredible. It's incredibly atmospheric. And you might be thinking, how do you make a movie out of that? I don't fucking know.
I don't either. This was a movie that I would have bet money we never would have happened, just because it was shot years ago.
So yeah, Markiplier, and look, I trust Markiplier's creative judgment. He's already made some things with YouTube Red that actually have much longer runtimes than any movie out there.
Yeah, I remember Unis saying it.
There was Unis Honest, which was more typical YouTube content. I'm thinking things like In Space with Markiplier, which was 900, or like, it was like 90 hours across 2 parts or something of content. A Heist with Markiplier was shorter, but still huge. And like, he's been doing these for a while. It's not like he doesn't have experience with sets. And all of these projects that he's done are fascinating. In Space with Markiplier is unironically fantastic. It's like one of the best movies of the year that it came out, if you could count it as that. I'm a big fan of Markiplier as a person and also as a creative spirit, and I trust his judgment when he's making this movie. And this movie filmed years ago, they needed to get it in theaters. They wanted it in theaters, and they couldn't figure it out. They couldn't get a good distributor, and eventually they found a way to get into 50 to 100 theaters on January 30th, 2026. If you know anything about the release date, January 30th, 2026, not a good date. It's January, which is where Oscar reruns are, especially right after the Oscar nominations. So we're going to be seeing a lot of traction to those Oscar movies. January is typically a dumping ground. It's not a very good month for putting anything in. That being said, it started with 50 to 100 theaters. It is now in like 2,500 worldwide, which is unbelievable.
Yeah. That
an indie film got this wide of distribution, and I'm so happy for Markiplier for just being able to do this. And I really, really am excited to see this movie because I know he works so hard on every project he makes, and I don't think he's missed yet. And if anything, doing like a feature film is like the least impossible of the things that he's tried to do. And I'm so excited for this movie.
Yeah. I am happy for Markiplier that he was able to get the traction for this movie that he did. It's really extraordinary. I've always respected the guy. I've never really grown up watching Markiplier. I always knew who he was. Neither. But I've never watched any of his movies. Maybe I will at some point. But I respect him a lot. I'm really happy that Iron Lung is getting the traction that it is. Hopefully the movie's good. I totally see why you're excited for it. So it's a good, very good pick, I would say.
And it's so indicative.
And it's one, yeah.
It's so indicative of this whole trend lately of YouTubers, like even not as mainstream YouTubers, putting their foot in the door in mainstream movie or show making.
Yeah.
Like the most personal example I can give is probably Zach Hadel in Smiling Friends.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think what platforms like YouTube kind of came with the promise of is that we would be seeing a bunch of new age filmmakers getting their stuff out into the world to the most people possible in the quickest manner possible.
Yeah.
No longer would you have to go through the studio system because you could get popular on another platform that wasn't as gatekept by the people in charge. And I think we're only now starting to reap the rewards of that system.
Oh, yeah.
We've got creators just this year, Chris Stuckman directed a movie.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of Chris Stuckman.
Huge YouTube personality. He directed his own horror movie. Now we're looking at Markiplier making his own movie. We're looking at Vivzy Pop getting their... I mean, look, I don't like Has Been Hotel or Hell of a Boss, but I can't deny that getting your animated pilot into a TV show made by Amazon MGM is pretty damn impressive. And kind of shows...
It's an example. Sure.
But it shows the power of the internet at the very least.
Right.
People are actually getting picked from the internet to make big movies. We're seeing these internet filmmakers grow into their own and be able to get into the studio system and being able to break into the industry, essentially. We talked about Jane Schoenbrunn, same case there. We talked about the director of Host. It's the same case there.
We've come a long way from Kick-Ass here. That's
Kick-Ass. Oh, I thought you were going to say Kick-Ass. I was like, I love that movie. I don't know if you guys have seen it.
I haven't. But yeah, the internet is bringing about a new wave of filmmakers and a new wave of really good filmmakers, because it turns out there have always been filmmakers this good who just never got movies made, but now we can go online and watch filmmakers this good make movies this good. And I'm hoping that we keep seeing and reaping the benefits from that.
Yeah. I just hope he doesn't avoid the pitfall of gets a lot of traction, the movie comes out, it's not so great. Because that's, unfortunately, it seems like that's what happened with Chris Stuckman, who's a guy I love. Hoping that doesn't happen with him. I'm rooting for Markiplier, and I'm rooting for this movie.
Yeah.
For better or worse, I want it to succeed, just because I really respect the guy. And yeah, I'll definitely check this one out.
Yeah, totally.
At the end of January, it's only a couple weeks away.
Yeah, I really do hope that it's good.
I will say with me, I'm essentially walking into it blind. Even what you guys have been saying, I don't know much about it. Even Markiplier's a guy I don't know that much about. Okay. So I'm essentially like, this movie will be like a totally blind experience.
Yeah.
I probably didn't even see the Markiplier playthrough of this game. Probably just like a lore video from
Matt Pat or something.
Yeah.
Yeah. And but yeah, it screened limited engagement in late December of last year. People said it was really good. I'm hoping they weren't just saying that for the cameras.
Yeah. Same thing with Coyote vs. Acme. I hope they just weren't saying that to keep the movie around.
Right. So I'm going to move on to my number 2.
All right.
Final 2.
My number 2 is from a franchise that... fuck it. It's Godzilla -0.
Hey!
Yeah, I love Godzilla. I have loved literally my first memory is watching a Godzilla movie. There's no way that if you put a Godzilla movie out, I'm not going to have it on my list.
And this is your number 2?
This is my number 2. I know, right?
Hey, this is my number 8. I mean, I'm surprised it isn't higher.
Wow.
But
the only reason it's not number 1 is because I don't know how you make a sequel to Godzilla -1. It has its own little sequel tease. I'm just worried it needs to be as clever as the first, and the first was really clever. The first was like really, really clever. This one needs to be just as clever in order to match that. It needs to be just as relevant. And like, the first one was set. It's a period piece. It's a period piece set around the time the first movie released, so 52 to 54. And yeah, I don't know if they're gonna keep with that time period. What more there is to say about that time period, but it kind of looks like this movie's going to feature multiple Godzillas.
Seems like
it's going to be pretty cool.
Seems like it. When they first announced the title, -0 was one that I wasn't expecting. I didn't say this earlier, but I didn't know if it was going to be Godzilla 0, Godzilla +1, Godzilla -2. I don't know. The possibilities are endless, or not endless. There's only a couple in mind, but
divided by multiplied.
Divided by multiplied. I thought you were going to say Markiplied. I was like, they're jumping off of Iron Lung there.
Yeah. Godzilla -1 is such a clever title. You can't really put a good sequel name to it because, the war took them to 0 and then Godzilla took them to -1, right? So then Godzilla 2 takes them to -2, I guess. They're just going to keep going down. It's just going to keep getting worse. I really don't know what they're going to do with this movie, but I do trust Takashi Yamazaki enough, and I love Godzilla so much.
Yeah.
I love it so
Yeah, it's a cool
much.
character. I wish I got a better introduction, I feel like. Because the Godzilla movies I quite like. It's just, the Hollywood ones and then Roland Emmerich's. Well, I guess that also counts as Hollywood. But
Yeah, my introduction was Yongari, of all things.
Yongari?
Yongari?
How the fuck did you end up with Yongari?
Don't it? It's a long story.
Yeah, and then look, I was in a film class.
Look, my dad loves it, but
Yongari? What?
But he
That's like saying your first. It's like saying your first kaiju was Gorgo. What the fuck are you talking about?
Hey, that was mine. I'm just kidding. No, it wasn't. It was the Kool-Aid Man, obviously.
Look, it got me interested.
You know what?
I want to watch this.
If Yongari gets you across the bridge, Yongari gets you across the bridge. I don't know how, but it works. If it works, it works.
It works.
Because even some of the best Godzilla movies I haven't seen, like I've never seen Shin Godzilla. I hear that one's quite good.
It's amazing.
But yeah, like I watched the original Godzilla in a film class with a bunch of bumbling buffoons, if you will, who kept being like, "Why is Barney destroying Japan?" I'm like, okay.
Bumbling.
One of these days, I'm gonna sit you down, and you're gonna watch Terror of Mechagodzilla, and your eyes will be opened.
Yeah, I'm down.
So, Terror of Mechagodzilla is a fantastic movie. If you've never seen Terror of Mechagodzilla, watch it now.
Yeah, I mean, I'll
so good.
I'll watch anything. Yeah, I'll watch anything. Even
giant monsters destroying stuff, like that's awesome.
Yeah.
Hey, look, Godzilla. The American Godzilla's hit or miss. I really like Godzilla King of the Monsters. I know a lot of people don't.
Yeah, I'm one of them. I really don't like that movie at all.
The original Godzillas are fantastic. There are some really, really good Godzilla movies that got made afterwards. Shin Godzilla was amazing. Godzilla -1 is the best, probably the best monster movie ever made. I'll go that far. That's probably the best. Yeah, I think it's the best monster movie ever made.
I have to think about that one. I can't. I don't know if I can name too many monster movies off the top of my head.
And so, yeah, I love Godzilla, and nothing, no matter how bad these movies are, is ever gonna stop me from putting Godzilla on these lists. Yeah, I'm really, really excited for Godzilla -0. To see what they do with it, to see if they can be as clever as the first one. And just by the way, I know the suit Godzilla looks kind of goofy. The suit Godzilla still looks good in some movies. The CGI Godzilla in Godzilla -1 is the best looking CGI I think I've ever seen. It is like, I don't even know how they did it. There's no wonder this won Best Visual Effects at the Oscars.
What, better than
Yeah,
Anaconda even?
Yeah, better than Anaconda.
Come on.
Slightly worse than Anaconda.
How do you beat that?
It is. I'm just so excited for Godzilla -0, man. I really, really am.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, the time has come.
Oh, this is gonna be...
I think I know what your number one is.
My number one. So my number one is based on one of my favorite series of all time. The way that it's made, the way that it's animated is just, it was kind of groundbreaking for how it was done, like how they made it, the way it was animated. Because my number one is The Backrooms.
What the fuck?
Okay.
This is a questionable top 5. No offense.
So going back to YouTuber-made movies.
Yes.
The Backrooms, the one with the kid.
The Backrooms.
Okay.
Yes. So The Backrooms.
The one with that weird kid who doesn't know anything about.
The Backrooms is directed by 17-year-old Kane Parsons.
Is he still 17?
He's been 17 for about 3 years now.
He's probably in his 20s by now.
I think he's like 19. And yeah, so it's based on one of my favorite series, the Backrooms found footage series. And I mean, the budget on those like short films on YouTube was
looked
really,
incredible.
really high.
I didn't even when I first heard that was animated, like pure CGI, I was blown away.
It's a little bit of motion capture as well. It is incredibly impressive how he did that. But I mean, those films look really good. They're really scary, and just A24 picks up this.
A24.
A24.
Well.
Options this series. They pick up and they have the original guy come back to direct this movie with Chiwetel Ejiofor and Renata Rensby.
Chiwetel Ejiofor?
Yeah. And
no, I was just saying because the pronunciation was a little...
And Renata Rensby from, Sentimental Value is what I saw her in most recently. But those are not... those are really good actors. And A24, this auteur-driven studio, is letting this really interesting artist make his own movie, this thing that he's had a lot of experience with. I mean, I think it's kind of hard to call him an inexperienced kid who knows nothing about filmmaking when you look at the actual films that he's made, and they're fucking fantastic. And just, I am so happy that he gets this opportunity, and I really, really, really want to see what he's done. And Renata Reinsve actually went and said that like working with Kane Parsons was one of the best.
Oh yeah, she said that he was good.
That she's had with a director, and it's like, that's so good to hear. And I know a lot of this movie is going to be found in the VFX room because it shot for like 9 days because again it's like very animated. And I don't know what the plot is, but I love the videos it's based on. I think that this director really has potential. I love these actors. I love this concept. The Backrooms is a fascinating concept. It's based on this liminal space image. It's a room.
They found it
liminal
a couple
spaces.
like a year ago, right?
Oh yeah, they did.
Like
it was
where
like
the actual place
it was like some store in China or something.
I'm pretty sure
it was somewhere in the
like
Midwest, right?
it was in like Wyoming.
Oh,
or yeah.
or something. Okay.
And it's basically, so liminal spaces are this thing on the internet where people post pictures that are somewhat uncanny.
I still really don't get what makes liminal spaces, like something about nostalgia, something about uncanniness, and
it's like
hallway, like in between ish rooms.
If you're familiar with Uncanny Valley, where something looks so much like a human that it becomes a little off-putting, it's like that idea if you applied it to a room.
Yeah, I feel the uncanniness, just like not
Right.
any other popular description. But yeah,
Where it's like you see them and you feel a sense of uncanniness, unsettledness, maybe a sense of familiarness, like you've been there before. Sometimes you can even point to like memories in your head or where you think that you've been. The idea is that they kind of break the limit, the liminality between a real space and a fake space.
I want to see that in the movie, how they do liminality in this.
And
I feel like that would be such a great thing to dive deep into. I hope they do that.
that's the thing. Liminality is not something that's often explored in film. It's hard to get that right because a lot of these
But if you do, imagine.
A lot of these liminal spaces are single images. The Backrooms, the one that it's based on, is just a single image of a room with yellow wallpaper and these bright yellow fluorescent lights and this weird
moldy carpet.
Yeah. And it is like an empty department store basement. And basically the whole series is filled with these strange landscapes that are all pasted the same way. The carpet is moldy the whole way through. They form these weird structures. Sometimes there's weird holes in the floor. There's this really excellent one where this guy sees something out of the corner of his eye under like a crack. There's like a small space between the wall and the floor, and he crawls under it, and he crawls out, and the scenery has changed. It's a really good shot. And just the idea, he has actually built a story up, the idea being that if you do the wrong thing, you can fall through the earth and into the Backrooms where you will wander forever. And there's no escape. And people have built up lore online, but this is the lore that Kane Parsons has put.
I like the Kane Parsons lore. It's a lot more simplified and less SCP. Like, I don't want this to be an SCP clone.
Yeah, and Kane
that's
Parsons.
just too much.
Kane Parsons has said pretty publicly he has no idea what the actual lore of the Backrooms is. He was just doing his own thing, and that's amazing.
That's so good.
Yeah,
And
that I would say that's good. Yeah.
I want something original.
He builds in the short films this story of a really fractured world in which no one really understands why people are disappearing or what the Backrooms are, but they're actually when they're able to find it, every time they try to do something, it goes so completely wrong.
Yes.
And they get into the Backrooms, and they have all of these systems. They're in hazmat suits. The hazmat suits look so good. It's like it's just one of those suits that changes your
iconic.
Changes your body in a way that makes you embody the suit in a real way. Like
power armor.
The people in the suits feel like their own characters when they're in the suits. And they have the little ropes attached to them to figure out where they're going, but they never lead back the same way. It's this champion of eeriness that I think Kane Parsons is probably the only one to get right. ever. I mean, you know, these single images are good and all. There have been a lot of like video games based on similar concepts.
Yeah, Escape the Backrooms, the Phasmophobia developer, right?
Yeah. And Kane Parsons also, he put a creature in the first one. That was a fun one. You've probably seen the creature. He looks like a spindly wire guy.
I thought he was a troll face, but like blacked out and with wires.
Yeah, he's like a spindly, fun little wire guy.
Yeah, wire people are creepy.
And it's like, there are a lot of horror movies that have played with the idea of spaces kind of shifting. You know, a very common horror trope is when you have a character running down a hallway, but then the walls seem to get longer in front of them, so they're actually making no progress. Pretty common shot. This is like that taken to an extreme. We're walking around a landscape that doesn't make sense no matter how you look at it. Yeah, and it's infinite, and it's scary
and unfilmed.
And you know the actual the first Backrooms story, the first video is actually about like a young filmmaker who falls into the Backrooms and then films himself getting chased by this wire monster, and then they found that footage while going through the Backrooms. If this leans more into found footage, I'll be super there for it. Really, I'll be super there for this no matter what it is. But Kane Parsons, I think, is lucky that the studio got it. If what happened to Skibbity Toilet happened to Backrooms and Michael Bay bought it, I would be significantly less excited. But
why Michael Bay specifically?
Speaking of
Michael
YouTubers,
Bay bought Skibbity Toilet.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Put their foot in the door.
Yeah, the Backrooms, I am beyond excited for what they'll do for this. A24 has confirmed it's coming in 2026. A Brazilian theater chain accidentally revealed it's coming on September 3rd there. So around that range is when we could be looking at this movie.
All right. Yeah, I guess for me, the reason I've kind of been quiet during this, I'm not a fan of the Backrooms videos. I've found all of them to be kind of dull, and just like I was just found it overhyped of just like, I don't want to kill your excitement at all. That's just my side. Like, I know you're really excited for this one. I've had no interest in this movie. The Backrooms I've never found interesting. I find the idea of it kind of lazy. Not the movie itself, but just the lore behind it. I just think it's kind of lazy.
Yeah, kind of the same for me. Like,
yeah,
I was never really into it too far because it went a lot more mainstream. But like the concept itself, if the Backrooms as a concept didn't even exist up until this point, I would have probably put this on my list. Spoiler.
Yeah. It's just like, for me, self-contained spaces, like, sure, filmmaking techniques can be really interesting, but for me, I guess with this, I guess it's not enough. It's not sold me enough to win me on the movie. Maybe I'll be proven wrong. There's just a lot surrounding this one that I'm I'm not excited for it.
It was probably because I was more into the Mandela catalog at that time. Going back to the YouTuber thing, if there is a YouTuber that puts his foot in the door. Shoot, what's his name that made Mandela?
Yeah, Alex Kister. There's some.
I want to see more of that. That's all I'm saying.
Okay, the Mandela catalog is probably, in my opinion, the gold standard
for found footage.
For found footage and for YouTube analog horror in general.
Analog, yeah.
I don't really care about the lore of the Mandela catalog, and I know Alex Kister has been involved in a couple of problematic things. I don't really know. I don't pay attention to that stuff. But Jesus fuck, the Mandela catalog is scary.
Crazy. That and Monument Mythos,
I hated Monument Mythos.
I love the lore.
I was snoring at the Monument Mythos. It was
really?
So boring. Oh, the Lincoln Looker. Guys, the Lincoln Looker. And then it cuts away, like, as soon as it's about to get interesting. Oh, there's a fucking tree in the Washington Monument, guys. Whoa. I don't know. I don't mean to shit on your parade, but like, I would substitute that in with something like the Walton Files. I found very, very scary.
Yeah, I never did that.
Yeah, but the Backrooms. That's my number one.
Yeah.
We can move on.
All right, nice.
Sorry, Max, for taking so long.
No, you're good. You're good.
We should do our own analog horror series podcast thing. That'd be fun.
Yeah. I'm not
retrospective.
Yeah, I'm not too familiar with that stuff, but it'd be a interesting one to check out. Hopefully, it could win me over. Just right now, there's just nothing to get me excited for it. save for the lead actors. A24 is really hit or miss for me. And like I said, I'm not interested in the backroom stuff at all. But yeah, I'll go into my top 5. A lot of these are probably unsurprising, except for this one. This is a movie that for the longest time I didn't really know what to feel about it. And the more I've just really sat on it, it really kind of just skyrocketed the more I thought about it. And that's Resident Evil.
Whoa!
Zach Cregger's Resident Evil.
What?
Is my number 5. Yeah.
I didn't expect that. Okay, so just a little bit of...
I've given you... go ahead.
A little bit of context for the crowd. We are film buffs. We can't help but discuss movie news, and when news comes out about an upcoming movie, we tend to talk about it. We don't talk about it as it relates to our list, but we talk about it in general. And Zach Cregger gave this interview where he said that he wasn't adapting a story from the games necessarily. He said he wasn't adapting the characters from the games because people who played the games have already seen those characters. And as I recall, Max hated that.
Yeah, at least upon initial reaction, I did. But the more I thought about it, I mean, how much can something change from one interview? I mean, who knows what could have been going through his mind, and how much of that's still true, I don't know. But Zach Cregger is a guy, and I've talked to you guys about this one. I feel like I absolutely loved Barbarian that came out in 2022, and I really, if you check the end of the year list, which should be up by now, I was really high on Weapons, which was one of my favorites of last year. And both those movies just kind of solidified Zach Cregger's name on anything. Kind of like what Jesse was saying with Jane Schoenbrunn. Is that their name? Yeah,
that is their name, yeah.
Jane Schoenbrunn. I haven't seen I Saw the TV Glow. I do plan on it.
It's fantastic.
But yeah, like Zach Cregger is someone like that for me, where his name on something will get me to watch it. And with Resident Evil, I am holding out hope that this is the Resident Evil film that actually gets it right. I've seen some of the ones in the is it Paul W.S. Anderson series? I think is what it is. I've seen the original Resident Evil. I thought it was fine. Never bothered to check out the rest of the franchise. I saw Resident Evil Welcome to Raccoon City, which I didn't think was very good. Then there was a Netflix show, which you hear Netflix is doing Resident Evil that could go any which way, and unfortunately, from what I hear, it was so bad to the point it was canceled a week after it aired or something like that. But Zach Cregger's aesthetic, I think, would fit perfectly into the world of Resident Evil and Raccoon City. Even though, he's not taking some of the lead characters. I'm not like a huge like into the Resident Evil lore. I've seen a couple. I used to watch a bunch of gameplays on Resident Evil, and I worked with people who really like the games. I'm actually, upon initial, this movie actually never made my list to begin with after I saw that interview clip. And the more I just thought about it, it just kept going up and up and up and up. And then it landed at my number 5. And Zach Cregger is a guy that I'm just like, I want to see anything he does. And I'm hoping it doesn't turn into a generic zombie movie directed by Zach Cregger, but I'm hoping it's at least a Resident Evil film, and he has said in interviews that is a love letter to the franchise, which gives me a little bit of hope. Or a lot of hope, I would say.
That's so funny because I reacted very positively to that interview.
Yeah.
I said,
and that movie wasn't on your list.
And it wasn't on my list at all. I said, that makes sense. If you're adapting Resident Evil, you're not necessarily adapting the story of the games. You're trying to show what makes Resident Evil so special, what makes it worth adapting. And that could be Leon Kennedy's story, but Zach Cregger, that clearly wasn't what it was. That interview made me more excited for the movie. And it just didn't end up on my list.
Yeah, I get the more I thought about it, I was kind of like, I was being a little hard. Some of my concerns are still there. Which I feel like is a common recurrence this year, is that we're excited, but I feel like is the main thing, at least maybe for me.
I'm always a little excited, but I feel.
Yeah, which, I mean, that's fair, but like...
And I'm also a little excited, but...
I mean, we're in top 5. I'm very, very excited and very interested to see this version of Resident Evil, and the reason I have it up so high is because if a filmmaker who's on a hot streak right now, I hope that finally we can get the good Resident Evil adaptation that fans of the games deserve, and hopefully one that the general public responds to pretty well also.
All right, nice. Good pick.
So, yeah. So the next 4 on my list, if you know me and you know me well, these won't be terribly surprising, but the question becomes, what order do I have these in? So my number 4 is going to be a movie that all 4 of these movies I will say we've already talked about.
Oh, okay.
My number 4 is going to be this one was originally higher, so I don't want to keep the suspension building.
It's killing me.
My number 4 is Dune Part 3.
Ah, okay.
Originally, I had this a little higher on my list, but copy and paste everything we said about it earlier. You can rewind to check that out. I love the Dune films. I was very high on the first one, probably more than most people. Dune 2 was not only my favorite movie of 24, but one of my favorites of the decade. I thought it was a tremendous achievement when it came to sci-fi, and just a great movie overall. So naturally, a third film from the same director, and you have an incredible cast, and bringing new faces like Robert Pattinson in there, I think is great. Why it's not my top 3 is because I don't know how much they're pulling from the later books. More so like Dune Messiah apparently is not very well received, but if anyone can pull it off, it's Denis Villeneuve, and apparently they're not directly adapting Dune Messiah, which I'm grateful for in a sense. But I'm curious about it. Supposedly exploring Paul Atreides in much later form of life, or much later on in his life at the end of Dune, the Dune 2. Yeah, I'm really excited for this one. Anything with Dune on it will get me to watch it, save for Dune Prophecy, which I didn't care for very much. But yeah, I'm really excited for this one. Copy paste everything we said. I don't want to spend too much time since this one was already talked about. So top 3. There are 3 movie process of elimination. I'm sure some of you had your bingo cards out, seeing what order. My number 3. This is where I'm putting Project Hail Mary.
Wow.
Okay. I've said this twice now, or at least in the span of both episodes, both with Jesse's placement and with Logan's placement. This is my favorite book of all time. Lord and Miller are 2 really interesting filmmakers, and 2 people that, especially on a producing standpoint, I think have produced some incredible animated films. I mean, they're the guys behind the Lego Movie, 21 and 22 Jump Street, Clyde with a Chance of Meatballs, storyboarding for the Spider-Verse movies, and produced other movies as well. Mitchell's vs. the Machines is always one that I gravitate towards. Really like that movie. Drew Goddard, long history of great films. Wrote Cloverfield, which Jesse, I know is a movie that you love.
One of my favorites, yeah.
Yeah, Cabin in the Woods, which is another really solid movie.
That's one of my favorites, yeah.
Yeah, he wrote The Martian, another Andy Weir book, weirdly enough, which I haven't seen, but I've heard great things about.
It is good.
Yeah, and stars Ryan Gosling, who I think is one of the great actors working right now, as the character of Ryland Grace, which, if you read the book, at least in my mind, that's great casting. Maybe it's because I knew the casting before I read the book, but I can totally see him as that character if you've read the book. The book I just thought was fantastic. Why it's not number 1, I honestly couldn't really tell you. Maybe it's because, if I had to say something, maybe it's because the trailer showed a bit too much, but even then, I don't have too much besides that. Maybe I would say like the point that Jesse made earlier. How are they gonna pull off the dynamic between Ryland Grace and the other alien creature in this in the movie? I guess we'll see. We'll see. But early, they put the first trailer out like way before the movie came out, which is always a good sign. They did that with F1 last year, and that was one of my favorites of last year as well. And Andy Weir said it's the author of the book said it's the best adaptation of his book, which when you say that about a book, especially one that I love, you get really excited about it. So I don't know, maybe it's because the top 2 I'm more excited for, but I don't know, really excited for this one nonetheless.
Yeah, I'm excited for Project Hail Mary as well. Yeah. I expected this to be your number 1. Just so that we're clear. Yeah,
I know. This past couple months, which feels crazy to say that, but I do want to give a special thanks to Jesse because he's the reason I read that book. And if it wasn't for him, I don't know if this movie ever would have entered my list. Or it probably would have, but maybe not this high.
You were talking about Project Hail Mary before you read the book as well.
Yeah.
I think, Lord and Miller.
Yeah, I would say, yeah, probably. But even more so because, I think reading the book especially helps to where you have a story that you love, and it's just like, how do you see something like that get adapted?
If any of you listening like books, like sci-fi, read Project Hail Mary if you haven't already. It's really good.
I would say so. But yeah, I guess moving on to my top 2. My number 2 for 1 point was my number 1 for the longest time is The Odyssey by Christopher Nolan. For the longest time, this was my number 1 until June of last year. It was no longer my number one.
June of last year?
June of last year.
2025, that is.
Yeah, June of 2025. It was no longer my number one.
What happened in 2020 in June that would have pushed it down?
Right, or somewhere around that time.
Was it that he revealed that it was the Odyssey? Is it the premise that gets you?
You'll see. You'll see why.
I think it has something to do with your number one.
Yeah.
Okay.
Probably.
All right. Let's the Odyssey though.
Yeah, but it's one that I mean, the Odyssey. I think Christopher Nolan is probably the best working director today, at least in my opinion. Anything his name on is instantly top 5 most anticipated, unless it's something that I just look at and go, "What is that?" Thankfully, with the Odyssey, obviously, that's not the case. I've never read the story by Homer, but apparently it's very beloved. Sorry, I realized I just said Homer instead of Homer. Excuse me.
I only read the one by Bart.
By Bart. And the third one by Lisa. But yeah, the Odyssey, everything I've seen from it, the cast is incredible. Like, I don't know, the cast is incredible. The trailers have been incredible. All that stuff is just, this movie just looks amazing. I feel like this is Christopher Nolan's magnum opus. He's really, really swinging for the fences, as he always does. But adapting a story like this is one that's not easy. And from what I've seen so far, I haven't seen the IMAX prologue. I'm jealous of you.
Yes.
That you have. I have seen the trailer, both trailers that they put out for this one, and it looks fantastic. Even the look of Benny Safdie, I was like, wow, he looks great there. I mean, you got Matt Damon, Tom Holland, Zendaya, Robert Pattinson, John Bernthal, John Leguizamo, and Elliot Page, and it's just great cast. Great cast all around.
The IMAX prologue is a Trojan horse.
Oh, maybe I've seen. Oh.
It's a Trojan horse. John Bernthal is. It's a Trojan horse. John Bernthal's telling it. It is so intense. There's a prolonged shot of silence where the guards of Troy are stabbing a sword through the Trojan horse to make sure there are no people inside of it.
Oh, yeah.
And he stabs once, and then it cuts to inside, and we see the blade go in, and everyone's looking around. Everyone's so sweaty. They're all packed in there. And the horse is smaller than you'd expect. And then he stabs again, and same thing. And then he stabs again, and he hits the shoulder of one of the guys. And you see 3 different people rush to cover his mouth, and then 2 different people rush to cover the wound on his shoulder so it doesn't bleed through the bottom of the horse.
Wow.
It is.
That sounds incredible.
It's like, imagine if Christopher Nolan took his really like tight filmmaking style from something like The Prestige or Memento and applied it to this incredibly tense scenario while keeping the spectacle of something like Interstellar.
Yeah.
It's literally the best of both worlds. It looks fantastic.
Yeah, I really hope he's able to pull this one off.
Yeah.
From what I've seen, I have no doubts. I mean, for me, Christopher Nolan hasn't missed. I understand for some people, he's made some movies that I know don't resonate with everybody. But for me, I always look forward to what he's doing. I feel like his high concept stuff, I feel like those are type of movies that are more on my wavelength. I feel like some other filmmakers, we push that a bit or promote the metaphors over it, which maybe not wired for me, but I can always respect that.
Right.
But yeah, so that's my number 2. My number 1, I actually made a mistake. I did not change this in June. I just looked at my notes. That has something to do with when the movie was pushed. I've always had this movie at my number 1. I looked at my history for it. If you know me, if you know my taste in movies or in anything about me, you know number 1 by a landslide is Disclosure Day from Steven Spielberg.
Yeah.
And I know Jesse said that he wasn't crazy about the trailer. I didn't say too much just because I didn't want to give away my thoughts. I loved the trailer. I thought it looks really good. I don't know. Maybe it's just like it had just the amount of like intrigue and like trippiness to it
and
that
Spielberg
the Emily Blunt stuff, like the Emily Blunt scene where she was stuttering in front of the camera. I really like Josh O'Connor. I liked him in Challengers, and I liked him in Wake Up Dead Man.
I didn't like him in Wake Up Dead Man.
And then you have Emily Blunt, who's a great actress. You got Colin Firth in there, which seeing him in a movie like that.
Colin Firth.
Yeah, Colin Firth. Especially in a Spielberg movie is great. You got Coleman Domingo in there. Hopefully not just a cameo like in The Electric State.
Coleman Domingo can't get a role that's more than 5 minutes long.
Yeah. But
Cameraman 6. There for 2 minutes.
Yeah, and then he'll just present the Oscar, I guess.
Yeah.
I'm Coleman Domingo. I was nominated for Academy Awards back when I was in good movies.
Yeah. Yeah, this movie, from the moment that Spielberg said he was not only making another movie, but returning to a genre of films that really kickstarted some of his earlier career, and like specifically with like a movie like Close Encounters of the Third Kind, which I think is great. Not my favorite from him, but it's a great movie. Everything about this movie, everything I've seen, everything I've heard, David Koepp, a recurring theme in the most anticipated, especially part 1, is writing the screenplay for this one. The original story from Spielberg, if I'm not mistaken. This movie sounds great. This movie just looks amazing to me. And even kind of, I'll say, like, now that I get my number 1, just just hearing everybody's most anticipated, especially like hearing that Jesse's excited for the Backrooms is really cool. And like Jane Schoenbrun's next movie, that's just like, we all have very different tastes in movies, I would say, or at least like, but it's cool to just hear everybody's like what everybody's excited for, because it's like it makes the list not just fall into one category. That
totally.
All the movies we've talked about, at least on me and Jesse's list, and we'll finish up with Logan's, but it's one that's just like, we're gonna be watching very different kinds of movies, and I'm all for it.
Yeah, no, and it's gonna be a good year.
Yeah.
I'll say that, just from the movies that we've said. Good, diverse cast of movies. Disclosure Day is a great number 1. I didn't respond to the trailer so well. Part of that's I don't like Josh O'Connor. Part of that was the trailer is very I don't want to say generic, because there's some really good parts of it, but it's basically just Josh O'Connor running around like, What if you weren't alone? I got to get this information out to the public. I got to go to the press. I'm going to get this information out. I'm going to the press. I'm going to get the information. And it's like, okay, no, we got it. We got it.
Yeah.
The whole trailer could have been 2.5 minutes shorter, you know?
Yeah. I guess for me, like, just intrigue, I guess. Like, there's so much secrecy around the movie. And we're like, I know you mentioned earlier the billboard in Times Square, was it all will be disclosed?
Yeah. And
just like, even like, in a movie you talked about, like the Backrooms, like there's so much secrecy around that movie. It's just like, the fact that it's directed by a 19-year-old. There's just like, even though I'm not the biggest Backrooms guy, but it's one that I'm just like, I'm curious. I want to see what a 19-year-old kid, or essentially someone our age, can do directing an A24 movie of that level.
Yeah, I love secrecy when it comes to these kinds of movies. I have no issues with it. I just didn't like the trailer. That's all.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, not everybody has to like it. I mean, everybody responds to everything differently. But yeah, I've been saying this to you since the very beginning. If you know me and you know my taste, you know what number 1 is.
And you know what? I thought Project Hail Mary was number 1. I thought Disclosure Day was your number 2.
Yeah. Honestly, Project Hail Mary almost was my number 1 at one point. When I read the book, I strongly considered putting it at number 1. And I had Disclosure Day, The Odyssey, Project Hail Mary. Those were always my top 3.
I knew. Yeah. Those are very you movies.
Yeah.
And I'm really excited for you to watch them, because I think you're really going to enjoy them.
Yeah.
And I'm really excited for you.
Yeah, and say if you had like the Jane Schoenbrun's next movie, and the Backrooms, and
Iron
Long, like those are those are Jesse movies. And then for me, we have the top 5, which are very much mine, and then transitioning to Logan's top 5.
Let's figure out what Logan movies are.
What are Logan movies? I really want to hear about this one.
So number 5 has a special place in my heart. So going back to the theme of movies adapted from classic books, I'd say.
Oh, I know what you've done.
Oh.
This is one that I'm so excited to see. It's an animated film of...
I don't know what you've done. I thought wrong. I don't know what this is anymore.
I thought of something different. I
think we thought of the same thing.
Yeah.
But okay, I don't know what it is anymore.
This is an animated film of a book that I hold dearly in my heart, I'd say. It's one that resonates with people worldwide, I'd say. And this has the potential to be one of the most faithful adaptations. This is Animal Farm.
Yeah.
Oh, boy.
I'm kidding. It's the Odyssey, but...
Okay. The Odyssey. I was about to say, but I'm going to watch this explode.
Yeah.
At least I've seen the trailer for the new Animal Farm. I have not read the book.
I think people are being a little disingenuous in their interpretation of the Animal Farm trailer. I don't think it looks good, but it's like Animal Farm has always been a children's book. But just to be clear, your pick is the Odyssey?
Yeah.
Okay.
The Odyssey.
Yes.
There you go. Okay.
Yes.
I thought you were about to pick Wuthering Heights.
I was thinking Narnia.
Okay.
I was thinking Narnia.
None of us had any idea what the fuck you were doing.
Good. Okay.
But yeah, the Odyssey is a great pick.
Yeah, I agree.
Everything we've said about that. I mean, the classic story. Am I right?
Yeah.
Great.
Amazing.
So number 4.
Moving on.
This one's Animal Farm.
This is one I did see a trailer for in the movie when I went alone to see whatchamacallit, the last movie we watched alone.
Oh,
Marty Supreme.
Marty Supreme.
So the trailer lineup was honestly pretty peak. This is How to Make a Killing.
Oh,
good pick.
Nice.
I considered putting this on my list for a little bit just because of how good the cast is.
It looks interesting. It looks interesting.
Yeah, the cast is honestly pretty stacked in my opinion.
It was Glenn Powell and
Margaret Qualley.
Margaret Qualley.
And what's interesting is we actually saw How to Make a Killing when we saw Marty Supreme as well.
We did, yeah.
What I think is really funny about that trailer is that there are 3 separate shots in which Margaret Qualley goes, "I bet you're about to make a killing," and then leaves the room. It's a John Patton Ford picture.
Yes.
About money and about inheritance and about killing people to get your inheritance. And yeah, John Patton Ford is very interested in money, what people will do for money. That's what Emily the Killer was about, which is his other picture. Yeah, good pick. Good pick. This almost made it. This was replaced very late on by The Social Reckoning.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So my initial reactions to your thoughts on that one weren't too far off.
I didn't like The Social Reckoning when it was first announced, but eventually How to Make a Killing kind of soured on me, and The Social Reckoning grew on me. But How to Make a Killing, I'm still very excited for. It seems very good. Good pick.
Yeah. So, going back to trailers that I saw during Marty Supreme, number 3 continues into that with Digger.
Oh,
Digger.
This is one I had in my top 10. Yeah.
Wow, now I'm the only one that didn't have Digger. In
I'm
my top
shocked.
25.
I was shocked you didn't have Digger on your list.
Yeah. I don't know. We didn't know anything about it, and then the trailer came out, and we still don't know anything about it. And it's like I get why it's there, and it's not that I'm not excited for Digger. It's that I have 25 movies that I'm more excited for than Digger.
Yeah, that's fair.
So,
that's fair. I mean, I kind of said that earlier with Evil Dead Burn. I mean, it's obviously made my top 10, but it's just like I don't know much about it, just save for the name.
Yeah.
And the franchise associated with, but yeah.
Yeah, Digger looks grand. Like.
Yeah. I'm just interested to see what Tom Cruise
That's
like
everything
in his
we can
weird
say about it too.
Yeah.
Apparently, it's about the most powerful person in the world. That's what the original logline was. Back when we thought it was called Judy.
Yeah, which I after seeing the actual title, I have no idea where that came from.
Yeah, where did Judy come from? Who's
Yeah.
Judy?
We'll find
It's
out.
like when Spielberg.
Judy?
It's like when Disclosure Day, people thought it was going to be called The Dish, which
Apparently, people only thought it was going to be called The Dish because the headline for the Deadline article that reported it was part of a series that Deadline does called The Dish.
Yeah, I saw that. And
So the headline was The Dish. Steven Spielberg unveils next movie, and everyone was like, "Oh, it's called The Dish."
yeah, I was like, what a fumble when it came to the
Yeah.
And I wish I mean it helped for the secrecy, but
Yeah.
Digger, really interested in that one.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm going to say a lot of black comedy satirical films in this list that I'm excited for this year.
Me as well.
Yeah.
So,
I guess maybe that's what I meant by saying Tom Cruise hasn't done a comedy like that since Tropic Thunder. I mean,
Right.
has he done a comedy since? Yeah, I probably.
But they're all very straight comedies.
Yeah, but
plus and severe lack of good comedies I'd say from this year, so that's definitely an itch for me to scratch for this
Right.
year.
yeah.
Especially good ones. So, potentially. So, number 2 is one we have also discussed. Perhaps maybe at length or so. Disclosure Day.
Hey,
welcome back.
Because
number
of
one.
Spielberg.
my number one.
His number 1.
No, when Steven Spielberg says he's releasing a new movie, it's really hard to leave it off of this list.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It really is. And even I, who didn't like the trailer, still put it in my top 20. Like, it's really hard to resist the call of Steven Spielberg because he is one of the greatest directors of all time.
Yeah, he's my personal favorite. I don't know if I mentioned that earlier, but he's my personal favorite.
And the third and last movie.
All right, this is number 1.
This
This
Number one.
is number 1.
This is
that
number
I've
one.
seen
This is ending
the
us
trailer
off.
for Marty Supreme. So number 1 is one that I saw on the list that you sent to me.
Ah.
Huh.
It is one that's kind of weird because it was on the 2026 list, and there is no real release date.
I mean, we have ones on our list that don't have release dates.
This is kind of weird, but it hooked me immediately for casting, for the plot, for the whole vibe of it. It is another satirical black comedy that you may or may not know. It stars Keanu Reeves and Kirsten Dunst. Kirsten Dunst, seeing her in Roofman.
Roofman.
And directed by Ruben Östlund.
Oh, I know what this movie is.
This is The Entertainment System is Down.
I heard. I've actually.
Pick.
It was I've heard about this one.
Yes, I heard about this one. This was
Ruben Östlund. He did Triangle of Sadness, which was nominated for Best Picture a few years ago.
Yeah, I heard I heard about this when it was announced.
Oh my gosh! Do I want to read the synopsis for this?
Yes,
you far?
do.
Go for it.
Takes place on a long-haul flight between England and Australia. Early into the journey, the entertainment system stops working, and when the passengers' other devices run out of power, they are forced to experience boredom. If that is not the driest form of humor, that I just love that sort of thing. To me, it's so Scandinavian in its humor. That's all I can say about it.
Yeah.
It's that sort of just dry, matter of fact, but it's still so funny and satirical. This is one for me. If this was a jigsaw puzzle, this would fit perfectly into me, and I'm so excited to see.
Yeah,
there we go.
And hopefully it does release this year, because they did say something about it will release in Nordic film festivals this year, but it may get pushed to 2027 for American theaters. I'm not totally sure on that. Don't take my word for it, but
it'll probably end up late 2026,
right?
Maybe early 2027.
But yeah, like award season almost.
Yeah, and also
Keanu Reeves.
Hey, what's not to love about Keanu Reeves?
Yeah, that's true. And Kirsten Dunst. It's good.
Yeah, maybe not Bram Stoker's Dracula, but what's not to love about Keanu Reeves besides that?
Yeah, so that's a good pick. Great way to end us off with one that none of the rest of us picked.
Yeah. All I could say, this is going to be a fun year. I will say there's wildly different movies on all.
Wildly different from this year, I'd say, and I think that's it's so good because there's a lot of genres that I think were slept on in 2025. That being like comedy and sci-fi, in particular, at least from my experience. So I'm glad to see that, and superheroes too.
Yeah.
In a way.
Although I think 2025 was a relatively good year for superheroes, all things considered.
Yeah, I would say so
at
too.
At least in my experience.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to quickly go over my entire top 25 just right at the end, if you want it all in one place. From number 25 up, I had The Social Reckoning, Untitled Jesse Eisenberg Musical Comedy, Forgotten Island, Supergirl, I Love Boosters, The Death of Robin Hood, Werewolf, Project Hail Mary, Goat, Cold Storage, Disclosure Day, The Sheep Detectives, The Drama, Clayface, The Mummy, Coyote vs. Acme, Dune Part 3, The Odyssey, 28 Years Later, The Bone Temple, Artificial, Teenage Sex and Death at Camp Miasma, The Bride, Iron Lung, Godzilla Minus Zero, and The Backrooms.
Wow, what a great list. Suppose I'll go through mine as well if you want it all in one place. Let's say great list from Jesse, I will say. Number 25, I have The Bride. 24, I have How to Rob a Bank. 23, I have Violent Night 2. From 22, I have Michael. 21 is The Sheep Detectives. Number 20 is Mortal Kombat 2. 19, Spider-Man, Brand New Day. 18, Psycho Killer. 17, Obsession. 16, Supergirl. 15, Clayface. 14, Scary Movie 6. 13, Hokum. 12, Coyote vs. Acme. 11, Ready or Not 2, Here I Come. Why is the 2 in there? I have no idea. 10, Good Luck, Have Fun, Don't Die. 9, 28 years later, The Bone Temple. 8, Godzilla Minus Zero. 7, Evil Dead Burn. 6, Digger. 5, Resident Evil. 4, Dune Part 3. 3, Project Hail Mary. 2, The Odyssey. And at number 1, Disclosure Day.
Logan, would you like to put your list out there in case we all want it in one place?
All right, starting at number 2,218, Animal Farm. 2,217, Mario Galaxy Movie. 2,000. All right,
just
number 10.
Skip to wherever Fokker-in-Law ends up.
Fokker-in-Law. Where's the
Well, that was the very next one. So.
Oh, where's the Pow Pow Fish? I'm assuming it comes after that one.
Yep, you're absolutely right. So skipping all the way to number 10, Send Help. 9, Avengers Doomsday. Project Hail Mary. Other Mommy, aka Incidents Around the House. The Adventures of Cliff Booth. The Odyssey. How to Make a Killing. Digger. Disclosure Day. And The Entertainment System is Down.
Now, if you want to see all of those films put into one mega list ranked by how much we're anticipating them in a combined ranking, that list is in the description. If you have any comments to leave,
Questions or concerns?
there's a perfect place below the video for your comments. It's called the comments section.
Yeah, if there's a movie on either of our lists that you're like, what? Or if there's a movie on our list that you agree with, or post your list in the comments below. We would love to read through it. Some of your most anticipated 2026 movies.
And you know what? Maybe you're just really, really into Fokker-in-Law and you want to give me shit for dunking on that movie earlier.
Yeah, or same with me with the Pout Pout Fish, which releases the same day as Project Hail Mary. Which
and Animal Farm.
I don't know about you guys, but Project Hail Mary's got some competition.
Do you want to know why I didn't have Aang, the Last Avatar, or whatever the fuck that movie's called, on my list? You can ask me in the comments.
Yeah.
I never had it on my list.
You never had it?
No, not one.
Never?
No.
Wow.
I have no
I'm
faith
shocked.
in after Netflix turned it into a franchise, I have no faith in it.
That's fair. I didn't think about that. I just saw the name and I was like, I know you like that, so.
I do. Anyway, leave a comment if you have a comment to leave. Let's move into Letterboxd plugs. I am Threnv on Letterboxd. That is THRNV. I don't have a review for any of these films up because they're not out. But I don't know. I reviewed The Trial of the Chicago 7. That's directed by the same guy who's doing the Social Reckoning. So that's a good through line. Check that one out.
All right. My Letterboxd is MJ Spiegel, all lowercase. That's MJSPIEGEL. My current Letterboxd, I just posted a ranking of every 2025 new release that I saw. So feel free to check that one out. And by the time this episode goes up, you'll be able to see my full most anticipated list. I know the combined list will be in the description, but in terms of full list, at least for my most anticipated movies, I will be ranking those on Letterboxd by the time this comes out. So be sure to check out for that. And new reviews that I will be revamping in 2026. So be on the lookout for that.
Yeah, and on Letterboxd, you can find me on Invaded Films, INVADEDFILMS. If you want me to change the name, please comment below. If you want me to actually review something, please comment below. It is the year 2026, so therefore I will be reviewing all the movies that I've seen from 2025, and I will do so for this year too. So excited.
Yeah, we're looking forward to a wonderful 2026.
Absolutely. It'll definitely be a fun one. I will say be on the lookout for weekly spoiler reviews and other types of content that we have in the works, so be on the lookout for all that exciting stuff.
But now you've got the movies that we're excited for and some of the movies that we aren't. All that be... Oh, yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, coming up, seeing as I'm kind of surprised that none of you guys mentioned this, but we are recording this from the confines of Big Mountain as we discuss Fallout Season 2.
Yay!
Yay!
More of the End Times New Vegas coming to you soon, whether it's before this or after this, but regardless, we will finish Fallout.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah, and other reviews coming soon to a podcast near you. With all that being said, have a great night. Roll credits.